Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And this is Bucky, and that's Foxy.
Yep.
And this is Castlevania.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is season 2, episode 3. If you want all of our reactions to this series, we have a playlist in the description of this video.
Yep.
Also have a link to Patreon if you want early ad-free access and our full watch-along reactions. You can check that out there. Ready to do this?
I'm ready.
Okay. It's quiet. Too quiet. Look, it's all right. Who's this, young Alucard? Young Belmont? Young somebody. Is he gonna make a zombie dog?
I think so.
I know. It's a puppy. Zombie puppy.
It's okay, Bucky.
No, Bucky.
He does not like animation.
I know.
It's okay, Buck. Oh no.
Well, yeah, I'm sure his parents freaked out.
He's a pet gargoyle now.
Mm-hmm.
A new night creature. Amazing.
Well, I can't stop you from speaking to me. You're vampire aristocracy, after all.
Our kind has never produced a Forge Master.
Well, you didn't have to. They either reproduced naturally or were created by acts of wild magic. You didn't need Forge Masters until now.
But your intellect cannot be denied.
As much as he does to Isaac. Which is, frankly, not much.
I believe you are actually worried about Dracula.
The fire in him has gone out somehow.
That's what you're saying.
It's as if we're looking at the embers of a man.
It means nothing to the war effort if we sent a group to the Belmont home to begin a search for their hold. If anyone in all the world has tools or magic who can harm our Lord Dracula, we need to ensure it does not fall into the wrong hands.
Like your hands?
All right.
She wants to figure out how to kill Dracula.
But Dracula must approve the dispensation of troops.
Like, well, this is awkward.
Mm-hmm.
I met him over a year ago. He sought me out, you know.
Did he really?
I was living in the east of Rhodes, very quietly. We talked for hours. After his wife died, he came to me, asking a human for help. Is it you?
I have need of your skills.
Tell me what you need.
I need an army. These are your skills.
What's happened? Why do you need an army?
They killed my wife.
They?
Humans.
The stupid, vicious, spiteful, evil human. They killed my wife.
Is this genocide, Dracula?
Would that concern you?
But I wouldn't have them suffer. I would just see to it that they couldn't harm anyone else.
Then that is how it shall be.
How would you do that?
If humans became livestock. I would have no concern over that. If conditions were,
Humane.
Oh.
I was going to say merciful.
A merciful end to the human plague, Hector. Will you join me?
Controlled population. Making sure they cannot harm anyone else. Yes.
It was my understanding that when a Forge Master reanimates a thing, it has total loyalty to the Forge Master and his goals. And then help me convince Dracula to attack Prela.
This is not going to end the way you think it is, lady.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to stop her scheming.
I mean, she's a good character.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play in that tree. We're nearly at the house.
Just makes me think of when Tyrion says to Cersei, "You're not as smart as you think you are."
It was everything, that tree. It was my house and my boat and my fort. Good night, tree.
You grew up here.
Yeah,
I can't imagine what it was like to grow up in a single place.
it was fine.
You loved it.
How old were you when your family home was taken?
You've been on your own since you were 13?
Maybe 12. Is there a point to these questions?
I'm disturbed to find that I had more of a childhood than you did.
What? I think this is it.
Your hidden entrance looks like a hearthstone.
Let's say, doesn't he have superhuman strength? So.
You've just discovered a big piece of stone.
Do we lift it or...
That's odd.
Slide it?
I don't seem to be able to get any purchase on it.
It's because it's enchanted.
You won't be able to lift it.
I was taken down there as...
Did you see them lift it?
They told me they'd teach me how to do it one day. I suppose there was a special trick. They knew a lot, but this door was put in by one of our ancestors.
Who was a magician, probably.
Guess the special trick was passed down the generation. Your parents knew the trick, but didn't know where it came from, or what it really was.
Oh, nice.
Open sesame.
Was that an Enochian ward?
Wow.
I know that language.
Well, well.
I didn't know it was a fucking magic door. Doesn't make us black magicians.
But you know that the word Terok means of death, right?
Shut up.
Magical door of death, Belmont.
Are you coming or what?
Came from a proud family.
Mm-hmm.
Belmont isn't even a Wallachian name.
The family's originally from the Kingdom of France, but we moved out of there a few hundred years ago. Thank you very much.
With people behind you waving pitchforks and torches.
We're professionals. We move where the work is. All the dark things moved into the east. I think it was Leon Belmont who entered the region first. And he built this house.
Oh, wow.
What a library.
Yeah, I knew you. Love that. She's so cool.
Yeah, she is.
See, this is why you need a basement. Library, trophy room, museum. This is insane.
Yeah.
My God.
The memory of my family.
Is there a way to find things?
Location of the book you want from the intestines. Maybe Belmont has a crystal ball in here you could...
Shut up.
It's an impressive tip, Belmont, but it is nonetheless a tip. I fully expect to find family cats mummified under some...
Oh my God.
Unless your family prefer to eat them.
X on the leg turn at the bottom. It's the work of generations. An archive of everything we've found and learned since the days of Leon and Bell.
It'll take you a lifetime to sit through all that.
What was your Leon Belmont doing in Wallachia?
Hunting Dracula.
Why was it open to that page, though?
Huh. Bloody hell. Is that what I think it is?
You almost sounded excited about something.
It couldn't be. Could it?
That was where he found his Assassin's Creed uniform.
I know, yeah. Did you have to drag it out?
For dramatic effect.
Could at least had Alucard do it so you didn't pull your back. Throw it out or anything.
Ooh, maybe you should have left that one alone.
No. That's how you notice something special inside. Yeah, you had a trunk like that.
Oh.
Sweet.
Beautiful. I don't believe they hid it.
It's all here. You're right. This is quite amazing.
Charming.
You're not even a little bit impressed?
Not thrilled.
Understandable.
Yeah.
May I speak to you?
Go on.
If you kill all the humans, what are we gonna eat? It's very simple, Dracula. If you kill all the humans, where does the continuing supply of human blood come from?
Prison Break, that's right.
I allow you to go on feeding raids when we change location. I have blood stored in cold canisters.
Not right now, no, but later. I don't want to be rationing myself on fucking pig blood.
You will be taken care of, Godbrand.
Yes, of course, right. Except
I have told you how it will be. The humans will die. You will be taken care of.
Bigger he looks.
Little Godbrand. Little vampire who delights in making noise and pretending he is important. Me, little Godbrand.
Smackdown.
Then why are you still here making your little noises and bite out your heart?
I want to see him do it now.
Damn.
Yeah. There's the fire.
Yeah.
Still got it. But like wore him out.
I was gonna say, yeah. Seemed to take a lot out of him.
the old man has lost his mind. He's gonna kill all the humans and leave us without any livestock. We're all gonna starve to death.
Why would Dracula, of all
Oh no.
Because this isn't a war, Carmilla. And he wants to take all of us with him.
He just doesn't care if he takes you with him.
Godbrand, wait!
I'm not gonna fuck you, Carmilla. I'm too pissed.
Oh.
Ow.
Ouch.
Hell was that for?
Being a prick.
On the fact that Dracula needs to take this castle by a vampire master who said he was giving me the world.
It's like Gondor where he like jumps off and
Yeah, it is.
I decided to take back my world.
Oh.
By mad old men anymore. Never again, Godbrand.
Damn, it wasn't enough for a noose. She had to do a noose of razor blades.
yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay, indeed. She is gets more and more interesting and fascinating as we learn more about her.
They did a good job with her because, I mean, she's interesting from the get-go. She makes an entrance.
Oh yeah.
You know she's scheming, so you're not on her side. But there is a charm about her. There is a thing about her that you are as an audience attracted to and want to see more of and want to follow her story. So to get this backstory and have it be in a sense of like kind of putting us on her side, like she was turned by this guy, and then she was in this castle and like he became cold and cruel, and that castle kind of sounds like it became
prison
and you know, so she took her life in her own hands and got her freedom. That kind of puts you on her side in this episode. So they're doing a good job storytelling wise, because they've just shown us Dracula, and he makes his stand, and it is big and intimidating against redhead dude. But you see how much it takes out of him. So you see very much so that he has become weakened. Then we learn he hasn't fed. Okay, this is a suicide mission. That kind of lines up with the fire being out of him, and you know, no real reason to live anymore. That makes him hard to be super invested in, like, because when somebody's given up, it makes you naturally not quite so invested in them. So then they give us her and make us invested in her with her backstory. So that isn't to say that we're always gonna enjoy her, have that same feeling towards her, but they gave it in this episode. So they're doing a good job kind of playing with our loyalties and making it complicated.
Yeah, the characters are really fleshed out here. I mean, even some of the characters you might think are like a little bit more side characters, like Hector or Victor, like we're still getting their backstory, which makes for a more enjoyable and interesting show. When it's just like you have more characters to root for and like root against, or just like understand. I mean, like, so like the characters are just so well defined in this and have such a clear point of view, and they're giving you great motivation for all the characters.
Yeah.
You know, it started off with Dracula. It's like, okay, well, Dracula's going to commit genocide, but like we're going to give you the reason of why he wants to kill all humans. And like, you know, they get you on his side right away, and great writing so far.
I'm also, and I too am terrible with names, am curious and invested in the dude with the hammer, the forger, the Hector. Obviously he wins me over because he saves a dog life. So like, boom, right away, I'm on your side. And he already had the pug, and that was introduced before. So like, I was always curious about that, but now to see like where his power started kind of, and how he's kind of cultivated it. And it's really been for love of animals and the desire for them not to suffer and not to die. He also had such a kind of clinical approach to what Dracula is about to do with humans. You know, sort of yeah, sure, I'll help you. They've never been nice to me. But like any animal, I think the planet would be lesser if they were extinct. Like,
and don't want them to suffer or anything. I mean, it was so scientific. It was so clinical and detached.
Like, obviously, I think he'd care a lot more if a dog was dying or dogs were being wiped off the planet than if people were. And his calculation was just sort of like, oh, well, you know, like the ecosystem might suffer without humans, and I don't know, maybe we should keep a couple around. And then to go about with the whole idea of keeping them as livestock, and I found it so fascinating that in that word choice moment, Dracula says treat them with humanity, and Hector was only going to say treat them with mercy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care if you're humane to him, you know, just merciful death when necessary.
But I don't think he really understands humanity. I mean, he's never formed a bond with anybody, unfortunately.
Because they have been terrible to him, apparently, and
people
suck.
His mom and dad, like from the get-go, were terrible to him. You know, once you learn about like his powers and what he can do, so people just pulled away from him. I loved Alucard giving Belmont shit about like his dark magic secret entrance place.
Yep.
That was funny.
And I also thought it was really interesting. The three of them, their distinct reactions to Belmont's like basement of treasures, basically. Belmont, we know, is conflicted coming back here. There are a lot of tough memories. His family was wiped out, basically. So that's going on. She's in awe of what's in these books, the knowledge, the like, oh my goodness, isn't it incredible to be in the presence of all of this knowledge from this great family. And I don't mean great as in like they were wonderful people. That's another argument. I mean great as in like one of the great houses in Game of Thrones. Like they might not have been great people, but they came from a great house. And so just her awe at it and kind of like curiosity and eagerness to learn. And then you have Alucard, and he just can't tear himself away from that cabinet of skulls. And so I just think their reactions to Belmont's basement gave us such great insight into all of their characters. It's another one of those great things, like if you can introduce something that your characters will have a strong point of view of, and then let that play out, like we as the audience get to learn so much about them because of their points of view. And I found it very interesting, in particular, how Alucard handled that. I mean, obviously he's aligning himself with Belmont. Belmont comes from a family that kills all of his people. Here, I mean, he knew that on like a knowledge level, but like here is the actual evidence in a cabinet full of skulls. And then sort of Belmont hearing Alucard or seeing him over by that cabinet and kind of like, he didn't look like he was proud of what his family had done. Like, you know, Belmont and Alucard are really good for each other because they're showing each other sides of their people, their whatever, that they probably, that's going to challenge their prejudices.
And Dracula putting the smack down on Godbrand, that was very satisfying. Just to see him unleash that fire and see that it is still there. Something's gonna awaken him again. Like I said, like it's gonna be like a face-off with Belmont or Alucard. Something's gonna spark that, or maybe, you know, Carmilla goes too far and does try to overthrow Dracula and does try to kill him, and that snaps him out of it. But something's got to.
It is interesting to me that he's not feeding, and like on an emotional level, I get that because I'm one of those people too who, like, if I'm upset or whatever, I don't eat. Like, so I completely get that. But if your mission truly is to wipe out humanity, enough so that when Godbrand comes in, you make yourself big and scary and you lay the smack down, it would seem that you then really are dedicated to this, which means you would need to eat at least long enough to see it through. To keep your strength up. Like, otherwise, you're all talk and bluster, but you're never going to survive long enough to see if it actually comes to fruition.
I think it's something that's going to end very quickly.
So I just thought that was kind of an interesting couple of moments there for Dracula. Also, how did nobody ask this question earlier about what are we going to eat? You know, vampires. It took Godbrand as like the representative of intelligence amongst you to come up and ask about how the heck are we going to eat if there are no people?
Yeah.
So that was kind of, I mean, I get it because like we've met him and, you know, for the sake of streamlining the narrative, it helps to just like have the characters that we're familiar with versus like constantly reintroducing new characters. But as the vampires, I couldn't help but think like, this is your best ambassador in this moment?
Let us know what you thought about this down below in the comments. And if you want early ad-free access to our Castlevania reactions and our full watch-along reactions, in case there was something in this that you wanted to see that was not put in the YouTube Edit reaction, check out the description of this video. We got a link to Patreon there, as well as a playlist for all of our reactions here on YouTube for Castlevania.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for checking out our reaction for Castlevania Season 2, Episode 3, but just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.